Hello there, welcome back to my channel, and this time it's the turn of seasonal that's going to be compared with what's already retired. I think this will be the last one that compares what's retired with what's going to retire in 2025, just to give you an idea of whether what the sets are going to be retiring this year will be worth investing in. Obviously, if it's something that's very similar and it's not doing very well, then obviously it's not a good idea to invest in it this time when it retires. Or the other way around, if it's doing really well, then it might be worth, keeping an eye on it and see whether you can get it at a discount or something like that. Anyway, it should be a reasonably short video, and like I say, this will be the last one of the comparisons, and then I'll explain at the end what I'm going to do in my next videos. Okay, so the first one is 40573, which is the Christmas tree. The comparison for that one is 40338, which is also a Christmas tree. That one retired in 2019. Now that was a free promo. I think you had to spend something like £120 or $120, something like that. But now it's worth around £67. But if you go on Amazon, there's people selling it for up to £154, and that's now. Obviously, coming up to Christmas, they could be sticking a lot more on top of that. So I don't know. Might be. I mean, obviously, Christmas things used to be an easy investment. Anything to do with Christmas. Buy it a couple of years later. Try and sell it just before Christmas, and you'd make a bundle of money. But now, not as much. But anyway. That set sold 8,519 sets. Next one is 40678. That's the festival calendar. That's $26.99. There's two comparisons for that one. The first one is 853195, which is an unusual number, but anyway, it's called Brick Calendar. That retired in 2014. That was £10 to buy. Now it's worth around £33. If you go on Amazon, it's being sold for up to £173, and that one sold 883 sets. And the other comparison is 40172. That's also the Brick Calendar, and that retired in 2021. That was £16 to buy, and now it's worth around £47. That one, when it retired, was given a very good classification. If you go on Amazon, people are trying to sell it for up to £368, and that set sold 3,187 sets. Next one is 40709, the Spring Animal Playground, which was $10.99. The comparison for that one is 40523, the Easter Bunnies. That retired in 2024. It was £12 to buy, and it's worth about £12 now, so not much of an increase. If you go on Amazon, there's people selling it for up to £52, but obviously if you were looking just before Easter, it might have been a spike in that. That one sold 5,872 sets. Next one is 40711, the Hedgehog Picnic Date, which was $10.99. The comparison for that one is 40463, which is also Easter Bunny. Well, the other one was Easter Bunnies, but Easter Bunny. That one retired in 2023. That was $13.49 to buy, and now it's worth around £15, so not much of an increase. If you go on Amazon, there's people selling it for up to £32, and that one sold 5,536 sets. And personally, I don't think Easter and that kind of thing does much of an increase. The next theme, the next ones that are coming up, I think more in America are more important than here, but anyway. Next one is 40721, the Halloween Barn, which is $12.99. The comparison for that one is 40423, which is the Halloween Hayride. Now obviously, if you got a Halloween barn, if you had them together, you would have a Halloween hay barn, and you could make yourself a bit of a diorama. And maybe if you were one of those that's mad on Halloween, you could decorate your windows and that kind of thing, ready for the trick-or-treaters and that sort of thing. Which obviously in America, Halloween is more of a holiday than it is in the UK. It's just, for us, it's just kind of trick-or-treat and bonfire night and that kind of thing. But anyway, that one retired in 2021. That was £12 to buy. It's now worth around 17. and that was classed as a good investment. If you go on Amazon, it's being sold for up to £87. And there again, with all the seasonal ones, if you had a look just before Halloween, you might be able to get a bit more from that. And that one sold 2,686 sets. Next one is 40744, the Christmas Ornament Selection, $10.99. The comparison for that one is 40642, which is the gingerbread ornaments. Now they've just retired basically beginning of this year. That was £11 to buy, and they're now worth around £12. But obviously, coming to the end of the year, there will be an upturn in those just going up to Christmas, but how much I don't know. At the moment, you can buy them on Amazon, or they're for sale on Amazon for up to £29. That one sold 5,509 sets. Next one is 40746, which is a Santa's delivery truck, $17.99. The comparison for that one is 1177, so obviously it's an older set, and that's Santa's truck. That one retired in 2002, and that was another free promo. I can't remember how much that was that you had to spend to get that free promo, but anyway, at the moment it's worth around £85, and there's none for sale at the moment on Amazon. Maybe if there is any still out there that's new, still in box, they could be waiting for just before Christmas to try and get them out. That one sold 117 sets. Next one is 40821, the Love Bears, $12.99. The comparison to that one is 40571, the Christmas Polar Bears. That one retired in 2023. They were £12 to buy, but now they're worth around £14. If you go on Amazon, there's people selling it for up to £30. And there again, obviously, coming up to Christmas, you could charge whatever you wanted and you might get it. And that one sold 7,381 sets. Next one is 80116, the Trotting Lantern, $89.99. The comparison for that one is 80107, the Spring Lantern Festival. That one retired in 2021. It was £90 to buy, now worth around £108. If you go on Amazon, they're being sold for up to £209. And then again, obviously, coming up to the new year, that kind of thing, you might get more with all the seasonal things, That one sold 8,776 sets. And the last one for the seasonal is 80117, Good Fortune. That was $69.99. The comparison for that one is 80110, the Lunar New Year Display. That one retired in 2024. It was £70 to buy, and now it's worth around £72. Obviously, when I give you these prices, the £70 to buy, you should have been able to get that for 20% off, that kind of thing. And the value, the £72 it's worth now, obviously if you sold it on Amazon, eBay, that kind of thing, once you paid your fees and that kind of thing, that's the sort of money you should be taking home. So really, there's only maybe a £20 profit in that one. That one, if you go on Amazon at the moment, is for sale for around £172, and that one sold 3,010 sets. So obviously, if the person did sell it on Amazon for 172, once they've done their fees, they're going to make a lot more than 72. Right, so the theme now is classic. Now, classic, not a lot of people invest in classic, but if you look back, way back in my videos, you'll see a video that tells you about the themes that make the most profit, and it's very surprising if you look at see how much classic makes. So I've added it on this one. So basically with classic though, I've kind of gone by the prices again, because a classic set is a classic set, sort of thing like that, so I've tried to compare it with like a £40 set with a £40 set, that kind of thing. So the first one is 11035, the Creative Houses, $49.99. The comparison to that one is 45020, the Creative Lego Brick Set. Now that retired in 2018. It was £47 to buy, but now it's worth around £82. But there isn't any, it's quite an old set, so there isn't any for sale on Amazon. But if you did stumble across one, then you might make a bit of money out of it. But anyway, that one sold 129 sets. Next one is 11034, the Creative Pets. That was $29.99. The comparison for that one is 10704, the Creative Box. That also retired in 2018. That was £30 to buy. It's now worth 40. If you go on Amazon, there's somebody selling it for up to £164, and that one sold 1,330 sets. Next one is 11037, the Creative Space Planets, $24.99. The comparison to that one is 10681, which is the Creative Building Cube. That one retired in 2016. It was £25 to buy. Now it's worth 43. Amazon, there's none for sale. It's obviously a bit old for that. And that one sold 223 sets. Next one is 11038, the Vibrant Creative Brick Box, $44.99. The comparison to that one is 10663, the Creative Chest. That one retired in 2015. It was £40 to buy. It's now worth around £74. But if you go on Amazon, it's being sold for up to £109, and that one sold 132 sets. The next one, and the last one for Classic, is 11042, Creative Happy Box. That's $34.99. The comparison for that one is 10682, the Creative Suitcase. That one retired in 2015. It was £35 to buy. It's now worth around £63. But if you go on Amazon, it's being sold for up to £184, and that one sold 232 sets. So that's all the comparisons. So that finishes all of the videos with the comparisons. And a couple of videos ago, I said that I was going to start doing what's retiring in 2025 with what's kind of coming up, the new stuff. So I've gone onto Lego, and when I looked, there was 195 new sets coming out. And the idea behind it is, I explained in my other video, where I got my BD1, and you can't see it because it's directly behind me, but I've actually got 7 BD1s behind me. I don't know how many you can see, but anyway, so I'm glad that I've kept hold of those because of the new droids that are coming out. And like I said before, I'm waiting now for like the droids that are coming out now, so that I can either sell them together, or because of these new ones coming out, the people will get all the new sets and then have to go back to get the ones that I got, if you know what I mean, which is obviously the premise of Lego investing. So people, when they get the new droids like K230 or Chopper, sorry, so when they buy those ones, then they're going to have to go back and get things like the R2D2 or the Droideka or C3PO, that sort of thing. So what I've done is, I've done the research, but I haven't done the video. So I've done the research to the 195 new sets that are coming out. I've looked back to see if there's sets that have either just retired, as in like at the end of 2024, or the ones that are going to retire soon, so that then if you buy it, you can put it to one side, and then when the new sets do retire, then hopefully there'll be one that'll go with it. Like, so you can either bundle it up if you do it on Amazon, because people on Amazon like to bundle things, or it'll be the same person that's wanting to buy that one as they want to buy that one. So if you keep hold of it, then as those retire and the hype for those sets increase, then you've got the older version that goes with it, the complementary set, that you can also try and sell, because the hype is there for the ones that are retired in 2025, that kind of thing. Okay, so my next video will be that. Basically, I'm going to go through the 195 new sets that I've researched and look for ones that will, you know, that have either just retired in 2024 or is about to retire, that kind of thing, maybe July, that sort of thing. And then to sort of say, if you keep hold of that, in 2026, 2027, when these other sets retire, then they will go with it, they will complement that set, and then when you're selling it, you can either bundle it together, or the hype for those ones when they retire will be good, and then you can then ask a higher price for the older version that you've kept and not got rid of, if you know what I mean. You've not sold it at a small profit and you've kept it back so that the hype is still there for that set, if you understand all that. Okay, so please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.